Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Afternoon baseball here at the Big A. It is a business person special. The Angels dropped the extra inning affair last night to the Cleveland Indians, thus setting up the rubber match between these two ball clubs today. As we welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and of course, of late for the Angels, it has been the offense that has continued to struggle, and that's why you find the Angels at 3 games back in the American League West. The pitching has been there, but all of a sudden the offense that had been so good, especially going into the All-Star break and right afterwards, has really disappeared.
Yeah, Victor, the pitching certainly has given them opportunity wins. You take a look at what the Angels have done offensively in their last 7 games, averaging a little over 2 runs per game, batting average at 182, and scored 3 or fewer runs in 6 of the 7 games. And when you look back at what they did from towards the end of May all the way up till the end of July, they were crushing the baseball, averaging nearly 5 runs a game. So with a day game here today, you're facing a very good pitcher in Danny Salazar. He's got a very good fastball, but you try to get that one mistake. And the thing you have to keep an eye on with him, when you swing at that first pitch, you can be very successful. 7 home runs against him on the very first pitch of an at-bat. I think you have to be aggressive. Don't worry about pitch counts. Get that baseball up in the air and drive it and get some carry here in the day.
Yeah, he's got good stuff, but not quite at the level of Carrasco we saw last night, Kluber 2 nights ago. And on the Angel side of things, the pitching's been very, very good. Richards and Shoemaker, and we'll see what Hector Santiago has in store. Last 3 starts for him, he's only lasted 5 innings in those starts. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car. CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic or butter. By Foster Farms Fresh and Natural, locally grown with no added hormones. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. games a game apiece in this series, and it is a warm one this afternoon. And groups, especially youngsters, still filing in here. Now, we've talked about the offense and the struggles that the Angels have had. You know what? They took all the bats out of the bat rack, trying to change the mojo with the lumber.
They're awake now, those bats.
They better be. They're trying to do whatever
I
it
like
takes.
that. That's
We'll
going old school. I like that.
Eric Ibar leading the charge there. Hector Santiago and the Angels have taken the field, so we will check out Terry Francona's starting lineup. A little different look to his lineup this afternoon. Cleveland at 49 and 57 with the win last night. Jose Reyes leading things off at second base. Francisco Lindor is the shortstop. Jerry Sands in right field. Carlos Santana at first base. And no Michael Brantley this afternoon. Ryan Rayburn will serve as the DH today. Giovanni Urshela is the third baseman. He's the guy that hit the home run last night, the game winner in the 12th inning. Roberto Perez behind the plate. Mike Avila seeing action for the first time in this series. He's in left, and it's Tyler Holt batting ninth and patrolling center field as they take on Hector Santiago. 22nd game, 21st start of the season, 7-5 and a 2.70 ERA.
For the most part, that's throwing the ball very well this season. Last 3 starts, so it is 15 innings pitched with 9 earned runs. Got to reestablish his other pitches and my go-tos for Hector. Kind of went away from his game plan in the last couple of games. Talk about the percentage of fastballs he has thrown, total of 72%. 28 as far as off-speed pitches against his Cleveland club. I think you try to get that amount of off-speed pitch, especially in the strike zone, up a little bit more. So get that fastball inside, but utilize that changeup and slider on the outside part of the plate.
Defensively for the Halos, it's Murphy, Trout, and Calhoun in the outfield from left to right. Gillespie, Ibar, Giovitella, and Crone at first. Albert serving as a DH today with Chris Iannetta behind the plate.
I'll tell you, Cole might have had a tough time at the plate, but he was absolutely fantastic out in right field. 15 outfield assists since the start of last season, which is tied for the major league lead as far as right fielders in that category. A perfect throw last night, has 6 outfield assists this season.
I mentioned for Hector, pitch count has been an issue for him too, and that's why he's only lasted 5 innings in those last 3 starts. Boston, Texas, and the last start being at Dodger Stadium against the Dodgers. Today's first pitch being delivered by the UPS store. First one's down low on Jose Ramirez, switch hitting second baseman. Hitting 175. Home run and 8 RBIs. Base hit, a couple of walks last night. Ended up going 1 for 4. Cleveland with a total of 10 hits last night. The Angels managing just 2. We're near the zone. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. 86 degrees at first pitch this afternoon. And a 3-1 count. Ramirez has led off the first 2 games of this series with a walk against Richards 2 nights ago, against Shoemaker last night.
Shows a
here today.
Pretty good patience for a guy hitting 175, seeing a lot of pitches.
Full count.
Well, here's the thing. Hector Santiago always draws those lines. We talk about the pitching lane he tries to do. He has a little bit of a zigzag this time to be able to stay in there. He's going a little bit quicker on the Audubon as far as the zigzag lines there from the pitcher's mound and the rubber all the way towards home plate. You see a little different than he normally would do. He usually have a straight line.
And he walked him. So the speedy Ramirez on board. And it'll bring up Francisco Lindor. Hector in those last 3 starts, 5 combined walks, 17 strikeouts. He had a 10 strikeout game against the Red Sox here. Ended up picking up the win in that game in the last 5 innings. It was 11-1 at the time that he left. 84 pitches in his last start. And granted, that's the National League ballpark, and his turn in the order came up, so Mike Scioscia having to make a change. So should be fresh today. In that start, however, if you remember going back to it, he was very erratic. Kind of an odd delivery. Mechanics were a little out of whack.
Yeah, that's what I was basically talking about. Mike Scioscia, Mike Butcher both had told me in between starts for Hector that he really went out. There was norm.
This one bunted up the line foul.
His mechanics weren't the same. His shoulder was flying open. That's why I think you see that little bit of a line he has different on the pitching rubber towards home plate. Just to try to do something different from the last 2 or 3 times out for Hector. And he's always looking in there to see, in that dugout on occasion also, to see what potentially could Mike Butcher tell him as far as his front shoulder. A lot of pitchers will do that. Mike Scioscia's going to check and see if that ball was even fouled out of the batter's box as far as the bunt attempt. If it touches him out of the batter's box, he's going to be out.
It's Pat Hoberg calling the balls and strikes today. Crew chief Jeff Nelson making his way toward the dugout now.
See if there's any contact made.
Didn't appear to be.
No.
And it seemed like he made contact with the baseball in the batter's box as far as bunting it.
Tough at that angle if the baseball redirected off the body when he got out of the batter's box. But if there is contact made when you're out of the batter's box with the baseball, you're ruled out.
Ramirez with a good lead at first base. A leadoff walk for him. He takes off. Run is on as Lindor went hacking at that pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. Ramirez back to first. Mentioned Hoberg behind the plate. Chris Guccione at first. Corey Blazer at second base, and the crew chief Jeff Nelson over at third. Halos with the loss last night, remained 3 back of the Astros. Texas defeating Houston for the 2nd time last night. The Rangers now find themselves 6 back in the American League West. Angels and the Blue Jays in the top 2 spots in the wild card. That pitch misses in, 1-2. Baltimore a game back, as is Minnesota, of the 2nd wild card spot. Then you've got the Rays and the Rangers 2 back.
It's going to be a great race for a number of playoff spots in the American League.
It is all bunched up. Orioles come to town on Friday. Next homestand have the Blue Jays coming here. 1-2. Lindor lifts one out towards shallow right. Long run for everybody. Nobody's going to get there. It falls in. Ramirez trying to go to third. Double pump by Calhoun to throw his offline. It's a single for Lindor. First and third, but nobody out.
Again, it's where Cole's playing. There's no way he's going to be able to cover that much ground. We saw him make some outstanding plays last night, but that was perfectly placed as far as a flare in the right field. And a good read by Ramirez, knowing that baseball is not going to be caught. Cruz is into third base.
And we talked about a number of times, Cole plays a really deep right field, even with a guy like Lindor at the plate.
With 2 strikes, too.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Sometimes you want to play a little bit more so in when it's 2 strikes because he's just trying to make contact.
I'm surprised at his hesitation at firing the baseball the minute he got it. Ramirez had just touched the bag at second.
But that double clutch allowed him to get to third. Here's Jerry Sands, and he will look at a strike. Sands getting to start in right field today. He's played left, first, and right. 11 for 35 at the major league level this year. That's a .314 average. Has a home run and 7 runs batted in. Chipped in a couple of doubles as well. Snap throw to first, and they got him. Nice play by Chris Inetta, and Crone covering. Boy, Lindor was very slow to get back to the bag.
I'm sure that'll be a quick conversation with the coaching staff once he gets back into that dugout for the youngster. Solid throw from Iannetta. Quickly on the back pick. See that secondary lead. Too big of a secondary lead. A quick tag by C.J. Crone. A huge out. Now because the offense has been struggling, they're going to bring the infield in here early on.
But nice job by C.J. Crone. Never an easy play. That's down and in. That's a blind spot for a first baseman. And all you got to do is just catch the ball and slap a tag down as quickly as possible.
As close to the base as you can. And assume the runner's going to be at some point either front or back side of the base.
The 1-2. Sands, a swing and a miss, 2 down. First strikeout for Santiago.
Comes right back in with a hard fastball, a deceiving fastball from Hector. Very difficult for hitters to catch up to his fastball. Again, a majority of his fastballs are above the belt. So you'll see some fly ball action against him, but that fastball gets by a lot of good hitters, good fastball hitters.
Santana takes a strike on the outside corner. Carlos at first base today. 225 hitter with 12 home runs, 47 RBIs. Fouls this one back. Right above us. Santana last night 0 for 5. Served as the DH. Ramirez over at third base. 0-2 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hector really slowed down his delivery there. See if he can make a quick adjustment. You see him shaking his head. He really slowed his arm down to take the speed off the pitch, but that kind of a pitch, you trust the grip to take off the velocity.
1-2. Lifted out toward left and playable for David Murphy. Now you talk about first and third and nobody out and no damage. A pickoff, a strikeout, and a fly ball to left. We'll head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Santiago navigating through that top of the first, and a nice pickoff by Chris Seinett as we check out Scioscia's lineup for game number 107 for the Halos. 3 back in the West at 56 and 50. Johnny Giavotella at second base, Cole Calhoun at right, Mike Trout at center. Albert the DH today, David Murphy in left field, Eric Ibar short, Conor Gillespie at third, CJ Cron at first, Chris Seinett doing the catching as they take on the 25-year-old native of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. His name is Danny Salazar.
Salazar with a good assortment of pitches himself. Fastballs 93 to 97, slider curve, very good split changeup. My go-tos against Salazar. Jump on that first pitch and then quiet hands. Hitters on an 0-0 count, first pitch, hitting 395 against him. That's 17 for 43 with 7 home runs. Don't wait for that secondary pitch. Go for that first pitch fastball.
Will elevate at times. The first one is just down and away. Not quite at the level of Carrasco and Kluber and Bauer, but still at 25 years of age, a good arm.
He's getting there, though. He has the potential to be there.
It took Carrasco a little while to get to where he is, and we saw how good he was last night as Giavotella. As the count evened up on him after that foul ball, a 1 ball, 1 strike.
I was talking to Mark Langston before the game. We both talked about it last night, too, Victor, that we thought Carrasco might have pitched the best game of the season against the Angels. He was that good. We were thinking also Chris Archer, that game he pitched against the Angels where he had all those punch outs for Tampa, another solid game.
A 2-1 count.
That's pretty impressive when you think about the guys that the Angels have faced of late, from Greinke to Kershaw to Kazmir. The Carrasco was unbelievable last night.
100 pitches in 9 innings of work. 204 pitches in back-to-back starts combined. 18 innings. This one down the line foul. 2-2.
Shoemaker very, very good himself. 10 punch-outs.
Probably not as crisp a game as he would like, but you know what? All you care about in a situation like that when you're matched up with a guy like Carrasco is matching zeros, and that's exactly what he did.
Giving your team an excellent chance to win. There was a chance in the 9th inning. De Jesus hit a ball on the line, but Ramirez ran it down. Well, those numbers he's had in his last 3 starts, 19 innings pitched, no runs.
This one's popped up left side of the foul territory there, and it's the catcher Perez making the catch for the first out. Defensively for Cleveland this afternoon, it's Aviles, Holt, and Sands in the outfield from left to right. Urshela, Lindor, Ramirez, and Santana from third to first. We just saw Perez behind the plate.
Ramirez at second base has played a ton of shortstop. Filling in for Kipnis now is on the disabled list. We've seen some great range from Ramirez, both at the backhand and the glove side. And a strong throwing arm also.
Cole hitting 278. 0 for 5 last night. And he saw a bevy of sliders down and in.
See, that's a pretty good indication. First pitch, fastball. 93, but it was upstairs, a hittable spot. That's why, as a hitter, you don't necessarily have to work pitch counts. Think in terms of a pitch to drive.
Calhoun with 14 home runs, 58 RBIs, and one terrific defensive play last night on the single, what eventually became a single for Michael Bradley. And a clean carom off the wall right. 2 balls, 1 strike. Angels with the loss last night now find themselves at 33-22 here at home. Off speed. Evens a count at 2-2.
He doesn't waste any time either on the mound. Cole trying to slow him down, throw him off his rhythm.
Almost got him chase at full count.
And that's the one thing that it got to me at times when I was on the mound, when the guy would step out and try to take time. Because as a pitcher, you want to get in that good, quick rhythm. And that's a good decision to make as a hitter, to try to throw off the timing of a pitcher getting in that good sync.
3-2, pulled the second. Ramirez has it. 2 outs. A little bit more difficult now for hitters to do that, as they, with the new rules that you can't really leave the batter's box area.
Yeah, you have to try to, bang the baseball bat off your cleats or readjust your batting gloves while you're in the batter's box. In my Hyundai key for this game to be successful, little Sammy Hagar, there's only one way to rock, and that might be the big fly today.
Thought you couldn't drive 55, man. That's fine. That's what I was hoping for.
I know you can't hear, that's for sure, in California anymore.
Trout looks at a strike.
Had to go with the red rocker. Today wearing the red tops for the Halos.
Jam shot, foul at 2. Van Halen with David Lee Roth, or with Sammy Hagar?
I know I'm gonna get some people upset, but I like Sammy Hagar. Just a big fan of Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Just got to go with the original.
I mean, you can't go wrong either way. But I'm a Sammy Hagar fan.
Called strike 3, got him on the outside corner, just touching the outside part of the plate. The Angels go down in order. We head to the second with no score. Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you to our broadcast, and as always, we thank you for your service. That is a beautiful sight out in the right field pavilion area.
That's amazing.
Service men and women join the ball game this afternoon. Rayburn, Urshela, and Perez for Cleveland here in the second inning. Rayburn skies went out to shallow center field. Mike Trout coming in, glasses cleaning. One down. We'll bring up Urshela, the hero last night. 3-hit game for him. A single, a double, and that 2-run blast in the 12th inning of Cam Bedrosian. Jose Alvarez ended up taking the loss last night, his third of the season. First pitch strike. Urshela, just 23 years of age. 0 for 4 in the opening game of the series, and the 3-hit game last night. Count even at 1-1. This one lifted out towards shallow center again. Ibar going out, calling for it. Giamatello's out there as well. Eric gets him out of the way. 2 down.
And a quick look at Mike Trout, and Giamatello was in that vicinity. Eric Ibar calls him off.
So 2 outs, the base is clear for the catcher Roberto Perez. Yan Gomes getting the afternoon off. Oh, 2. Perez hitting .226, 5 home runs and 16 runs batted in.
A better rhythm for Hector today. 4-0-2 counts already in the game.
That's a called strike 3. A 1-2-3 second, picks up his second strikeout. We will head to the bottom of the inning with no score.
Up later in the game, we'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. World Series hero on the mound for San Francisco in Atlanta. Scott Kazmir and the Astros trying to avoid being swept by the Rangers.
Houston will head up to Oakland, take on the Athletics after they're done with the Rangers. Pujols, Murphy, and Ibar here in the second.
In another high fastball, first pitch. And 7 home runs allowed on that first pitch of an at bat.
Albert hitting .254, 30 home runs, 66 RBIs. 0 for 4 last night. Did not play in the opening game of the series on Monday. He fouls this one off, and it's 1-2. Albert fouls it back. Good hack at that pitch. Albert trying to put a down month of July behind him. Get it going in August, as he did in June. He chases the high fastball, and down he goes for out number 1. Second strikeout for Salazar. Hey folks, the Angels host the Orioles on Friday. It's the first of a 3-game set. Fans in attendance will receive a Garrett Richards bobblehead courtesy of Pechanga Resort Casino while supplies last. Get your tickets by stopping by the stadium box office, or as always, you can get them online.
That's a perfect bobblehead. Look at that follow through. Going right towards the target. Very, very happy with that one. A little bit better than Joe Saunders. Remember, we broke that one down a few years ago. Solid mechanics for the bobblehead, Garrett Richards.
Do you still have that Joe Saunders bobblehead?
Yes, I do at home.
Is it?
Look at how the gloves there, the shoulders in. You talk about perfect mechanics for a bobblehead. Can't get much better than that. Look at that. Right at the target. Front shoulder in, the glove hiding the baseball. Deception. You can't see the baseball.
Murphy goes down swinging. It almost looks like Garrett's got a little smile on his face.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
3 consecutive strikeouts now for Salazar. And it'll bring up Eric Ibar. .275 hitter. Couple of home runs and 35 runs batted in. Eric trying to get that offense going by taking the bats out of the bad rag. Tough goal already here against Salazar. 5 up, 5 down.
A lot of strikes thrown for him in this game. 25 pitches, 18 strikes. Very similar to last night with Carrasco, head of the count consistently.
That doesn't work, by the way. The bat's out of the bat rack. Next call is to Joe Boo. Got to do something.
I see him a lot, by the way.
You're that or live chicken.
Yeah.
Live chicken or our stage manager, Dean Benson?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, what? Definitely.
Tapper fouls. It's still a 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hector Santiago, 2 scoreless. A couple of strikeouts and a walk. Also allowed a hit in the first. At a 1-2-3 second. This from Scott on the third base side into foul territory. Shell up. As the ball popping out of his glove. Dealing with that sunshine. And at the last minute threw the glove up and the ball just went in and out of it.
And it took his eye off the baseball just briefly enough to not be able to catch that pop-up. Looked to see exactly where he was. And then looked again. Did not look the baseball into the glove at that point. Maybe a break now.
Little dribbler towards second. Ramirez comes charging in. And the Angels go down in order. 2 complete here at the Big A, and we're still scoreless. One coming up for Cleveland. Aviles, Holt, and Ramirez. 27 pitches for Hector, 19 strikes, threw 19 in the first and then 8 in the second. Aviles hitting .221, 4 home runs and 9 runs batted in, just in 65 games for him this season. Tough year for the Aviles family. Earlier this season that his daughter, 4-year-old Adriana, diagnosed with leukemia. He had to take some time off to be with her. That one's in there for a strike to even the count. Teammates, guys in the clubhouse, even the front office, shaving their heads in honor of the Aviles family. And the Indians doing something too, especially with the trade deadline that just passed. There's a lot of interest in a guy like Mike to play multiple positions, but for his sanity and for the things that are going on in his family, making the decision not to trade him.
That's great what they did.
Keep him there in Cleveland. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We wish our best his family. Foul tips this one into the mid. Iannetta hangs on, and there's out number 1.
Three strikeouts in a game for Hector. Another fastball in the upper part of the strike zone.
Tyler Holt, the center fielder, now up for start of the series. Got an at bat last night with 0 for 2. He's 0 for 3 in the series, and all 3 strikeouts. 1 for 14 at the major league level this year. He'll bunt his way on, rolls it up the line, foul.
Another 0-2 count for Hector. 5th of the game.
He really, as of yet, Kubi, now we're 9 batters into this for him, haven't seen him really pitch hard in to the right-handed batters as we've seen most of the
Especially
season.
he'll back it up with another fastball. Sometimes you can go with 3 in a row inside.
That's twice we've seen a right-handed batter try to push bunt because Hector's been missing away quite a bit. They try to come inside here in the 0-2. This is popped up on the infield. Crone and Giavotella. Johnny puts the glasses down. Crone takes charge. 2 outs. Fans, join us for Italian Heritage Night. That's coming up on Saturday. The Angels taking on the Orioles. That's game 2 of that series. Remember, that's a 6:05 start. Be sure to get your Italian ticket package and receive an Italian Angels hat and great seats to the game. To purchase, I should say, your package, go to angels.com/Italy. So 2 outs and back to the top of the order. Jose Ramirez. Ramirez worked a walk in the first. This one's fouled back. Headed to the Indians broadcast booth.
Nice play.
Nice catch. That's John Reynolds'
son. What a play.
JR, the stage manager for the visiting team. His son's in the booth. Nice play.
JR usually runs away from the
JR
baseball.
was underneath. He was under the table. Thank goodness for his son, as this one's down and away. 2-2. JR was almost decapitated a couple times earlier this year on foul balls. There's fouls this one back. Count remains at 2-2. Indians back in the first. Had runners at first and third with nobody out. A walk and a bloop single, but Einetta picked off Lindor at first. Sands struck out and then sent in at a fly ball to left. So Hector got out of it with no damage. Ooh, pretty
That's
close.
a good pitch. Had a lot of the strike zone. It was a very good defensive play last night by Cole Calhoun to preserve the shutout performance for Shoemaker. And that's a perfect spot. And Ionetta's great pick-all throw at this point has allowed Hector to throw up zeros himself.
This one out towards shallow left. Murphy in a couple of steps. Santiago with another 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the third. Gillespie, Crum, Ionetta coming up for the Angels. We're scoreless. See yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Bottom of the third, Gillespie, Cron, and Iannetta. No score. Salazar with 3 strikeouts. He's yet to allow a base runner.
Beautiful day, trying to light up that halo today.
Connor Gillespie, the third baseman, hitting .239 with 4 home runs and 21 runs batted in. 0 for 4 game yesterday. The Angels last night mentioned just 2 hits, 2 singles, Murphy and Giavatello. Johnny also hit by a pitch.
This is 2 hits in the last 14 innings now.
Angels overall batting average at .247. At home, .246 compared to the .248 out on the road. It's just one of those grooves that the Angels offense are in right now, or lack thereof. As Gillespie shoots one out to center. Holt moving to his right, makes the grab for the first down.
Certainly not from a lack of trying. They were in there today in the cages down below in the stadium, just working on their swings. You know, we've talked a lot with Dave Hansen, Don Baylor, Paul Sorrento, the approach, using that middle of the field, the quiet hands, the relaxed hands at the plate. But that being said, when you're facing tough pitching and they're hitting their spots, it becomes a more difficult task.
It's the stuff you're going to have to overcome, though, if you're planning on playing in the postseason, because it's going to happen in the postseason.
That's the guys you're going to face. Every team has 2 or 3 very good starters, and that's all you're going to face. You're not facing a number 4 and number 5 guys in a playoff series.
One and 2. Cron getting started first today, hitting .258, 6 home runs and 19 runs batted in. I like facing Corey Kluber the other day. We're going 2 for 4 with a single and a double. This one's fouled back. It's a really good swings against Kluber. And when this team was going good, that long stretch, but even going back to the last homestand, it was everybody in that lineup. It wasn't just Trout, Pujols, Calhoun carrying the load. It was everybody. It was everyone passing the baton, and that's when they were scoring a lot of runs, a lot of hits.
And good swings, consistent, using the entire field, hitting the ball the other way. Also hitting the long ball.
That's just off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Angels did not get their first base runner till the 4th inning of last night's game. A 2-out walk to Trout. Almost went, did he? No. So full count. He laid off.
It's pretty close. See if he's able to hold up.
One of those can go
yeah,
either way.
I think he got a good chance to ring him up on that one.
Going back outside, and that was off the plate. Ball 4. There's the first base runner of the game for the Angels.
With Chris Iannetta coming up to the plate, now it's time for Tools of the Trade, brought by Ram Trucks. A solid defensive play by Chris Iannetta. Lindor well off the base, almost 22 feet off that bag, and a quick fire of a throw to C.J. Cron, and he was able to apply the tag. Solid by both Chris Iannetta and C.J. Cron on the tag. A solid defensive play, especially with stress in the 1st inning.
Salazar from the stretch for the first time. Chris cuts through the first pitch. 194 hitter now. 8 home runs, 27 RBIs. Iannetta last night 0 for 2. Perez got the start behind the plate last night, or pardon me, 2 nights ago, the opening game of the series. Iannetta checked out now by Adam Neville and Mike Scioscia.
I don't know if it's thumb or wrist on a swing.
That's the bottom hand. Pulls the bat through the zone.
He was aggressive on that first pitch. Tried to let it go. See the hand off the bat as he's following through on a swing for Chris Iannetta. Scuff it right away.
One out, walk to Crow, and he stands at first. Caught the inside corner 0-2.
And being a smart pitcher, runs that fastball up and in, especially when you see a hitter with the scumper in his hand.
Probably get another one too.
If that, he'll throw a slider about 1.5 feet off the outside corner.
Yana with a fastball, 2 outs, 4th strikeout now for Salazar.
Some serious life on his fastball too. 96. Great location. Didn't look like a real comfortable swing for Chris on that follow through.
Top of the order now, Johnny Giavotella. Johnny a pop out in foul territory his first time up. Unlike Carrasco and Kluber, Salazar signed as a free agent at a young age out of the Dominican. Got to the big leagues for the first time in 2013, made 10 starts last year, 20 starts at the major league level, 6-8 with a 4.25 ERA. Getting progressively better. This is his 20th start of the season. If the Indians can add some offense to that rotation, they can certainly compete with the Royals and the rest of the American League Central.
Power arms, and they're young power arms. Not a lot of mileage on them yet.
And under control. Carrasco signed a 4-year deal this past offseason. Kluber's locked up.
That's why that conversation was amongst a lot of baseball people. This club would be competing potentially not only to get into the playoffs, but going deep in the playoffs. Although when you talk to people around Cleveland, though, they just felt they were still a bat or two away from being at that level.
Johnny Skies went down the right field line, slicing toward the seats. Two balls and 2 strikes. Crone headed back to first. No score here in the 3rd. Calhoun on deck. Johnny bouncing this one foul at the 3rd base line. A little battle here. Handle still looking for that first hit. That's the first base runner on the Crone walk. And Hector Santiago doing his part. He's retired 8 straight since giving up that bloop single by Lindor in the first. .51 pitches now thrown by Salazar. 36 have been strikes. Full count. Cron's going to take off for the next pitch. Next pitch will be the 24th thrown by the youngster here in the center.
Had been cruising as far as his pitch count.
Three-two with a tapper foul.
Good at bat for Giavotella. Fought off some tough pitches so far, looking for that one mistake in this sequence. At some point, when you see enough pitches, you're going to get that mistake pitch. But as a hitter, you have to be ready for it.
Another foul. Make that 10 pitches now.
Perez going to go out to talk to Salazar. Okay, we've thrown him everything we have. What do you want to try? He's even fouled off some tough fastballs upstairs, down below the strike zone. Might have been also a conversation quickly. Would he feel comfortable throwing him a 3-2 slider now? So he's fouled off some tough fastballs.
Cron getting a workout too at first base. Bouncer back to the mound, snagged by Salazar. That would have been interesting if it got by the mound. It's a third out. We'll head to the fourth, still with no score. To work, he'll face 2, 3, and 4. Lindor, Sands, and Santana for Cleveland. 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. Santiago doing his part, matching like Shoemaker did last night. Zeros. And Salazar seems to have it working this afternoon. Same with Santiago. Better outing so far through 3. More consistent in the zone. Lindor swinging first pitch, pops it up. Playable for Gillespie, dealing with that sunshine. Ibar's over there to help out as well. And Gillespie never saw it. That ball was in the dugout. Connor was still looking up.
He just kept the glove trying to shade the sun and hoping that that baseball would come drift back towards his area.
He never saw it.
No.
And that's why he saw Ibar racing over there to see if there was going to be a play on it. At least he could be in a position to help out. But no play and a strike. Lindor 1 for 1 A little bloop single down the right field line at his first at bat, and picked off at first by Chris Iannetta. Chris still behind the plate. 1-2. A couple of other games currently ongoing. Seattle leading Colorado 3-0. White Sox leading the Rays 5-4. This one's bounced past Crone, and it sneaks down the line. Lindor heading towards second base. The throw from Calhoun is not in time. It's a double to lead off this fourth inning.
And is trying to protect, put the ball in play. And that's what you try to do when you have 2 strikes on right by C.J. Cron down the first base line. And is putting it in play, not trying to drive that ball. Protect mode at the plate. Now 2 hits for Lindor that side of the field.
And again, a pitch that was away against a right-handed batter.
He's been able to tie up a lot of right-handed batters in the past. That way, when you throw a fastball away there, you're just trying to slap it and put it in play.
7th double for Lindor as Sands steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first. Two balls and no strikes.
Guided that pitch also. Dropped his elbow, Hector did.
Now 3-0.
Kind of recoiling too, not finishing off his pitch. When you deliver the baseball, you want to be over that front leg. And Hector not even really pushing off the back leg to drive towards the plate on that last couple of pitches.
And you've got to be there if you're trying to pitch into a right-handed batter. It's almost impossible.
Otherwise, you're making a mistake upstairs, and then you got some damage against you.
3-1. Carlos had 10 on deck. Lead off double for Lindor. He's the proud owner of the 2 hits for Cleveland today. Full count. Third full count for Hector Santiago. He's thrown 51 pitches. 34 have been strikes. 1 walk. That was to Ramirez leading off the game. Payoff got him. Down goes Sands. Second time he's gone down swinging. 4th strikeout for Santiago. Let's go out and chat with Ken French. Ken.
Yeah, Victor and Gooby, you guys were talking about it earlier in the broadcast, so I did a little investigative reporting and found out all these sailors are here as part of LA Fleet Week. The Angels donated a couple hundred tickets to the proud sailors of the Coast Guard, Marine Corps, and the USS Halsey. And I'm joined right now by Victoria Marino, the Master Chief of the USS Halsey. What's it like to be out here on a Wednesday afternoon watching a little Angels baseball?
Oh, this is just a great opportunity. We don't have a professional baseball team. We're all from Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. I'd like to thank MWR and our sponsors for, like I said, this great opportunity.
Great. You guys having a good time? Got some world-class hecklers out here, guys. I was trying to get a "You Lost That Lovin' Feeling," but they wouldn't do it for some reason.
See, now that would be classic television.
I tried.
Work on it. Work on it.
All right,
the best.
Plenty of time. Thanks a lot, Ken.
That's awesome.
Yep. Carlos Santana, fly ball to left in his first inning at bat, cuts through the fastball. It's an 0-1 count.
Well, so far in this game, Hector has got Sands out both times with fastballs inside in a key moment. Huge strikeouts. See if he can get a big out here now.
Paying a lot of attention to Francisco Lindor at second base. Giavotella trying to keep him close to the bag. One ball, one strike. Santana's been better from the right side this year. 242 compared to 216 from the left. But all of his home runs have come from the left side, all 12. Popped up on the right side. Crone moving back on it. Giavotella cutting out. And Crone will make the catch.
Usually that's a play where the second baseman will call off the first baseman, but that is the other way around for C.J. Crone.
You really think Giavotella is going to argue with Crone?
No, it's not. It's not a win-win situation for him there. Just move out of the way.
Or be stepped on.
He's there for backup, though.
Yeah, in case the ball pops out.
A little Pete Rose and Bob Boone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then spike the ball in the turf.
Yes, indeed. Remember that one well. It was right behind the dugout. 2 rows behind the dugout there in Philly.
Ryan Rayburn will bat. Lindor still at second. 2 outs. Rayburn a fly ball to center field in his second inning at bat. Halos have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up at the bottom of the 4th. They're trying to keep this scoreless. For the last couple of starts, we've seen Hector really kind of complaining, not complaining, I should say, but kind of looking at that hand as if he's got too much moisture on his hand. But mechanics have been out of whack. Another recoil pitch there, which we hadn't seen the first 3.5 months of the season.
We'll see the conversation with Butcher and him right after the inning, I'm sure, just about his mechanics.
Oh, better there. Missed in off the plate. It's 2-0. Careful with Rayburn. He's got some pop in his bat. 4 home runs this year. He's had a 16-homer season a couple of times. Originally coming up to the big leagues with the Tigers back in 2004.
And one thing as a starting pitcher, when your offense on your team is struggling, you concern yourself trying to always make the perfect pitch. Sometimes that throws you off mechanically.
This one line to left field. It will fall for a base hit. Lindor being waved in. Murphy's got it. Fires it home. The throw is cut off, and the Indians with a 1-0 lead. Ryan Rayburn with the RBI single picks up his 23rd RBI.
If we look at the location of that pitch, upstairs, a mistake pitch by Hector. Then Rayburn able to make him pay for it. High, almost cut fastball right around letter high. Rayburn jumps on that. Hits it hard in the left field. Lindor with good speed, able to score the first run of the game.
They fell behind and paid the price. Not a very good throw either by David Murphy.
And look, off the bat, there might be a play.
Yeah. He had the ball in his glove before Lindor touched the base at third. A ball and a strike. Giovanni Urshela popped out. Derek Ibar in the second. Leadoff double and a 2-out single, giving Cleveland the 1-0 lead here in the fourth. Urshela's had some serious hacks in the series.
63 pitches thrown by Hector, 19 in the first, 21 here already in the fourth. In pitch count of late, the last now into his fourth start, it's been an issue for Hector.
And he got him to swing and chase a pitch out of the zone. It's the third out of the inning. But Ryan Rayburn gives the Indians a 1-0 lead. Clubs help young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportssports.com. Halos play from behind. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the fourth. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up to try to figure out the puzzle that is Danny Salazar, who's allowed one base runner, a walk to C.J. Cron with an out in the third. He's picked up 4 strikeouts. Cole 0 for 1, grounded out in the first inning. Few breaking balls that we've seen from Salazar. I know it kind of slipped out of the hand.
Especially his curveball. A little more consistent with his slider than he is his curveball. His split finger changeup is very solid, though.
Calhoun rips one out toward right center field. Holt pulls up. That one is gone. A big fly up into the batter's eye. Ties this game up at 1.
That had some serious distance for Cole. 15th home run. 59th RBI for Cole Calhoun. We always talk about when Trout hits it up there into Bo Jackson territory. That's Bo Jackson is for Cole Calhoun. Pretty much down the heart of the plate. And what a perfect swing for Cole. And the great bat flip once again. Way up there. Solid swing for Cole.
Good way to get your first hit of the afternoon. Trout looks at a strike. Mike went down looking in the first. Changeup.
Cole with 59 RBI, just past what his RBI total was last season at 58 for Cole.
One ball, two strikes on Trout. One hit in the series, and that was back on Monday. An RBI single. Breaking ball, and he goes down swinging. One out.
10 of Cole's 15 home runs have been hit here at the Big A. So Cole likes hitting in here. Baseball carries when he's crushing the baseball here at the Big A.
Good to see the Angels respond there. Getting a run quickly. Tie this one up at 1. There's Albert. Albert went out of his zone in the second inning, chasing a high fastball. One of 5 strikeouts for Salazar.
Well, the impressive thing about Salazar, after he gave up that home run, it didn't seem to rattle him right away. He was right back on the pitching rubber and making some quality pitches to Mike Trout. Great count now for Albert to do some damage.
(3-0). Salazar's last outing was at Oakland. Picked up the win on 8 innings, 111 pitches. Albert swinging away, 3-0.
I like that, being aggressive. Pretty good pitch to do some damage out over the plate around belt high.
Ripped out to left field, but right to the left fielder Mike Aviles. 2 outs.
Even though that's an out for Albert, that's good to see him square up in baseball. It's been a while.
Really has, especially the first 3 months of this season, where even when he was making outs, they were those type of outs. Got the night off on Monday. Get him off his feet. Full day off. Murphy, the left fielder, is 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. Foul tips that one into the glove. Evens a count now. One-two lifted out towards center. Holt moves over a couple of steps and will put it away for the 3rd out. Cole Calhoun, however, leading off this 4th inning, ties things up with his 15th of the season.
Yeah, got to pitch hard of the plate. Did not miss that mistake. Not many so far for Salazar, but that one to Cole, mistake and gone.
miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by the Acura It's That Kind of Summer event. Top of the 5th inning, a 1-1 game. Hector Santiago back to work. Facing the bottom third of the order, Perez, Aviles, and Holt. Perez, the backup catcher, 0 for 1 as he struck out looking in the second. Hector giving up a run with 2 outs in the 4th inning. He's allowed 3 hits. He struck out 5 and walked 1.
Good life on that fastball up in and see if he'll back it up with the same pitch.
Oh, 2 upstairs.
He tried to go back inside again.
Count remains at 1-2. Cleveland with a run on 3 hits. It left 2 on. The Halos with a run on 1 hit. Stranded 1 base runner. This one cued off the end of the bat into the seats.
It wasn't an easy play for a fan.
No. The old clankopotamus. Santiago about to throw a 70th pitch. And Perez skies went out to center. Rainmaker of a fly ball. 1 down. Hey fans, the Angels take on the Orioles on Saturday at 6:05. Enjoy Angels baseball. Then a spectacular post-game fireworks show presented by Wells Fargo. Purchase your tickets by visiting the Angel Stadium ticket office or by buying those tickets online. It's also Italian night, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun night.
My first Angels game.
Italian hat. Special ticket package for that night as well.
And fireworks.
It's a serious bonanza.
Yes, it is.
Mike Aviles, a left fielder, struck out swinging in the 3rd. Halos have their hands full, really. You look at their schedule, especially in the month of August. Tough stretch, especially to be on this stretch, the way the offense has struggled of late. Cleveland here, then Baltimore for 3 over the weekend. The Angels will travel Sunday after the game. Head to Chicago, play the White Sox for 3. Then it's off to Kansas City for 4. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, potentially you have Chris Sale and Samardzija pitching against you potentially with the White Sox in Chicago.
And then come home, play the White Sox for 4, and then the Blue Jays in town for 3. Blue Jays back out on the road.
Blue Jays look really good at this point.
So, upcoming schedule presented by Honda. That following road trip, that's the long one, right? It's Detroit, Cleveland, Oakland.
Yep. A little different looking Tiger team we're going to see in Detroit.
In all sense of the word. Al Avila taking over as the general manager. Swing and a miss. Down goes Aviles, 2 outs. All indication doesn't seem like Dave Dombrowski is going to remain unemployed for very long.
No, he's a smart general manager. The pitch here from Hector, great location. 6th strikeout of the game. Well, if you're a major league club right now and you're in need of a general manager, well, you have to be calling him right away.
Or even as a president. Remember, he was running the entire show for the Tigers. This one's off the end of the bat foul. Larry Lucchino stepping down at the end of the season for the Red Sox as their president. Ben Cherington's their GM.
Well, you look where he's been and how successful everywhere he has been. There's going to be a lot of clubs interested in employing Dombrowski for sure.
Toronto still has not sorted out its president situation. This one back up the middle, snagged by Hector. Just threw the glove down there, picked it up. And Holt is retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Santiago. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning in a 1-1 game. Transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ibar, Gillespie, and Crone coming up to face Danny Salazar. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed. That was the home run to Calhoun. Ibar 0 for 1 as he grounded out to second baseman Ramirez. Urshela playing in on the grass at third base. Santana behind the bag at first.
Yeah, he can still drag that bunt down the first base line.
Yeah, 2-0 now. .74 pitches for Salazar.
Ibar 2 for 6 in his career versus Salazar.
3 or fewer walks in 18 his first 19 starts. Good indication he's going to be around the zone.
And just like last night for Carrasco, very good walks to strikeout ratio. 136 strikeouts coming into the game, just 33 walks. Nearly 5-1, 4-1 at this point. Very solid.
Yeah, you're happy with 2-to-1 ratio.
Some of us were happy at 1-to-1.
I mean, from the coach's standpoint.
Yes, exactly.
Here's the 3-2. Ibar gets jammed. May have swung at ball 4. Said he's the first out here in the 5th. Brings up Connor Gillespie. Gillespie a fly ball to center field in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1.
1 year Fergie Jenkins have more wins than walks in a season. Remember, he had one of those unbelievable years. He was always around the strike zone. The Hall of Famer.
Did your teammate Brett Saberhagen do that?
I think he did with the Mets.
One ball, one strike on Connor.
Anytime we can reference the Mets with our camera guy Rusty, he's always has a big smile on his face. Anytime.
That was
Meet
in
the Mets.
1994. Saberhagen 14-4 for the Mets at 24 starts, had 13 walks, 143 punch-outs. This one over to first. Santana has it.
That's like no stress on you then. That's no fun.
It's kind of Sabesy style though, right?
Yeah, always around the strike zone. Oh yeah. Fergie, I think, did the same thing.
Two outs, nobody on for C.J. Crow to work the walk to third.
Still consistent with his velocity for Salazar. That one at 95. 95, 96 throughout. 93 on his two-seam fastball.
Didn't miss by much, 1-2. But fun to watch from a fan's perspective. These Indians pitchers, all three in this series, they haven't really wasted pitches. They get ahead. They're trying to get you out as quickly as possible, not setting you up, just kind of going right after you. And that's why you've seen, Kluber got knocked out early. The Angels started to figure him out, but Carrasco, now Salazar, pitch count very manageable.
When you have that type of stuff, why waste pitches when you can attack a hitter right away?
Full count. Inetta's on deck. Cleveland with the top of its order coming up in the 6th inning against Hector. It's got their run in the 4th, a single by Rayburn. The Angels tying it up in the bottom of the 4th, a home run by Calhoun. 3-2 fouled back above us. Crow bounces this one foul.
Salazar's had a couple long at bats against C.J. Cron and Giavotella. Other than that, cruise control.
Giavatello's plate appearance the last time up with 11 pitches. And he walked him again. Got ahead 0-2. Cron lays off, so the 2 walks that Salazar has issued have been to the Angels' first baseman. Here comes Inetta. The standings in the West, 3 back of the Astros. They will play the Texas Rangers later on, wrapping up that series. Texas just 3 behind the Angels. Fouled off, and it's an 0-1 count. Chris struck out swinging in the 3rd. Just 1 hit for the Angels so far today. Two and 1.
Pitch count starting to get up now.
Yeah, I was just going to say with that Cron plate appearance, the walk. Got the first two batters, Ibar and Gillespie, on groundouts and got ahead 0-2.
And that 26 pitches in the third inning.
Gets underneath this one. Foul territory on the third base side. Michella gives way to Lindor. The shortstop makes the catch, and the Angels are done here in the fifth. We're headed to the sixth inning. No score.
Kevin Gossman, a very good sinker ball specialist for Baltimore, going with the 0-2-2 with an ERA 3.97 and going against Andrew Heaney, who has been fantastic. The AL Rookie Pitcher of the Month for the month of July, 5-1 with an ERA 1.97 for Andrew Heaney. Throwing the ball exceptionally well.
1-1 here in the sixth inning. I said scoreless going to break. It just felt that way. It's 1-1. Top of the order, Ramirez, Lindor, and Sands. It's Hector Santiago. 6 punch outs, 1 walk. Ramirez, a walk and a fly ball to left. This one out to deep left field. Murphy racing back, still going back, and that's gone. A home run by Jose Ramirez, his second of the season, and it's 2-1 Cleveland.
You know, we talk about how the baseball can carry here in the day. And that full David Murphy off the bat, he came in initially, then drifted back, and it's over the wall for his second home run. It was a pitch down in, he dropped the head of the bat. Gets it out to left center field.
There's Lindor.
See, this baseball has kept drifting and drifting. And got out by quite a bit.
Lindor with a single and a double and a run score. This one's lifted out toward right center. Trout moving over. 1 down.
Well, anything hit in the air is not an easy play today.
So base is clear for Jerry Sands, right fielder today. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
It's the 17th home run that Hector has allowed this season, 15 against right-handed batters.
Breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike. Down goes Sands, 2 outs. 3 strikeouts in this game for Sands.
And all 3 times Hector has gone inside with a fastball. Not allowing Sands to extend his arms out over the plate. He's tied him up very well today.
Santana takes a strike with the knees. Oh, for 2 game for Santana. 2 fly ball outs. 1 to left, 1 to first. Two and 1. Full count.
91 pitches now for Hector. Finish off Santana here. He might have a shot to be able to at least go potentially through 7 innings with a manageable pitch count right now.
Down the line, foul. Two outs and a full count on Santana. 2-1 Cleveland here in the 6th inning. A home run by Ramirez leading off this frame. And that is ripped, and Gillespie with a diving catch for the 3rd out.
What a play by Gillespie at the hot corner. Line drive, snags it. Santana thinks he's got a knock, but Gillespie says, no, you don't. Showing some good range on that line drive. What a play. takes the hill in the land of the Braves. Madison Bumgarner, who's 4-0 his last 5 starts against Atlanta. And Kazmir and the Astros try to avoid a sweep against the Rangers. He's been very good since coming over that trade from Oakland. He's got Kazmir.
Top of the order for the Halos here at the bottom of the 6th. Down 2-1. Giavotella, Calhoun, and Trout. Salazar, 93 pitches. 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. This one back up the middle. Leadoff single for Johnny Giavotella. Second hit allowed now by Salazar.
With that base hit, the middle brings up Cole Calhoun, and we'll take a look at our AT&T Uverse rewind. Trying to find this same swing again. What a swing he had his last at bat against Salazar to dead center field. His 15th home run, 10th at the Big A this season. Career high as far as RBI this season with 59, beating what he had last year at 58.
Upstairs for ball 1. The home run by Cole is 15th of the year. 59th RBI. Angels 118 of the season. That is ripped down the right field line. Foul. Just out in front. Count even up at 1-1. Giavotella sent back to first base. Double barrel action going for the Indians in their bullpen right now. Lefty and a righty. 1-2.
That split change up there.
Kyle Crockett, the lefty. Zach McAllister, right-hander, getting ready. 97 pitches for Salazar. McAllister's the one that picked up the win last night. Leadoff single for Johnny Giavotella. He stands at first. Called strike 3. Got him looking on a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. 1 out.
Lower part of the strike zone, but the middle of the plate. And right after him, a pitch, and generally that's his pitch where Cole's going to square up well. It's been looking something upstairs or an off-speed pitch.
Trout 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts today. 1 looking, 1 swinging. Snap throw to first, and Giavotella gets a hand back to the base.
And Perez with 1 back pick this season. Hyundai key for this scheme. There's only one way to rock, and this may be the time for a big fly from Mike Trout to give the Halos the lead. See how the baseball has carried today. Just square one up against his power fastball from Salazar.
Line toward right center field, but Holm was shading him that way. 2 outs. Seemed like that pitch just got in on the hands enough. We'll bring up Pujols with 2 outs.
He's been real close the last couple of games, but just jammed like you mentioned. But this is enough to keep it in the yard.
Albert 0 for 2. Strikeout in the second inning. A fly ball to left. More of a line drive. That was in the fourth. Hector 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Down 2-1. Albert pulls one down the line. That's a fair ball. Giavitello will round and head to third. The throw is going to go to second base. It's a single for Albert. And the Angels have runners at first and third with Murphy coming to the plate.
Yeah, good sign. That's 2 good swings in a row for Albert Pujols. The line drive out, the last at bat, and that line drive into left field for a base hit. Pitch upstairs, stayed back on that one well. Got the barrel of the bat through and the lower part of his body to drive through the baseball for Albert. Now an opportunity to tie the game up at the very least here now for Murphy.
Terry Francona opting to stay with Salazar. He's pitched Murphy well. Strikeout in the second inning and a fly ball to center in the fourth. He had the option of going to the bullpen and bringing Zach Crockett, pardon me. He sticks with Salazar. He's had 103 pitches. Giavitello, the tying run at third. David looks to strike. 3 hits now for the Angels, 4 for Cleveland. Fooled on the breaking pitch, 0-2. Murphy, the starting left fielder today, batting in the 5th spot.
Gotta be ready for Giavitello. 0-2 count. Salazar might try to muscle up on a breaking ball in the dirt.
Albert takes off, and it's a foul ball back.
That's one of those plays you just gotta. I mean, one of 2 things: he's anticipating a break ball in the dirt, or he's going to go halfway and get into a rundown to try to have Giavitello try to score when the throw is made to second base.
Not an easy play either. With Perez behind the plate, a good arm, and then you've got essentially 2 shortstops in Lindor and Ramirez with good arms.
Yeah, exactly. Perez has thrown out a little over 35% of would-be base stealers.
And he got him swinging. The Angels lead 2 on base. We head to the 7th. Cleveland on top 2-1.
inspired performance. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, the summer clearance is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Top of the 7th inning, 2-1. Cleveland leads it. Hector Santiago back to work. Gave up a 2-out single to Ryan Rayburn in the 4th inning, and then a leadoff home run to Ramirez in the 6th. 93 pitches, 6 innings, 4 hits allowed. Rayburn, Rochelle, and Perez here in the 7th. The Angels with some action in their bullpen as well. Figure that Salazar is done after his 6 innings. RBI for Rayburn in the 4th, his 23rd of the year. Gave Cleveland a brief 1-0 lead. Calhoun tied it up with one swing of the bat in the bottom of that inning. Cleveland retook the lead last inning on the Ramirez home run. One and two. Corey Rasmus appears to be the first man up in the pen.
Threw the ball well in his spot start against the Dodgers.
Raber takes inside, 2-2. This one popped up on the first base side of the foul territory. Cron coming over and doesn't have a play. I guess Iannetta never saw it. That ball was right by the on deck circle. That's a much easier play for Iannetta.
Yeah, C.J. Cron has to go a long, long way. Chris does not pick up that baseball. Hector Santiago's running into an area where the ball may land.
Count still at 2-2. This one's out toward right center field and hit well. Calhoun pulls up, and that is gone. A solo home run the opposite way for Ryan Rayburn extends the Indians' lead to 3-1. And how big is that foul pop-up now? Rayburn's 5th of the season.
And credit Rayburn. He got another opportunity to swing the bat, and he did not miss. Going to right center field. Got up his 5th home run.
Back-to-back innings, and Hector Santiago gives up leadoff home runs.
Get another pitch upstairs and out over the plate. Rayburn didn't miss it.
Santiago, sorry, Gooby, is done here. Scioscia makes the move, a pitching change with Cleveland on top 3-1. Both leadoff home runs. So a 1-1 game going into the 6th inning, and now become a 3-1 game here in the 7th with nobody out. Corey Rasmus takes over on the mound. His 3rd appearance of the season. Sorry, in and out. Who's in, who's out? He'll face Urshela here, the 3rd baseman. Urshela 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a strikeout.
That's a good changeup. Fastball first pitch, followed by a changeup. 4 very good quality pitches for Rasmus.
Corey got the start Sunday against the Dodgers, went 3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits.
Throws a slider more so the right-handed batter's curve to a lefty.
Down goes Urshela, and there's out number 1.
That's going right after a hitter. 0-2, going with the fastball, perfect spot. About a half a baseball off the outside corner. That's what you want to try to do. Sometimes you'll get a hitter to swing at it. And that's exactly what Rasmus did.
Well, this Indians team certainly can rack up strikeouts. The Angels had 27 strikeouts in the first 2 games. And today, no Michael Brantley, no Yan Gomes. A lineup that you would have seemed to have been able to go right after and attack more so. First one down and away here on Perez. As it was, Santiago ended up striking out 7 in his 6 innings. Two balls, no strikes.
And for a team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, Cleveland, 86 coming in the game, 2 today.
13th in the American League in that category. Rasmus falls behind here 3-0 to the backup catcher, who's 0 for 2. And a 4-pitch walk. Brings up Aviles. Corey missing a good chunk of the season with that abdominal surgery that occurred late in spring. Much needed depth added to the Angels bullpen. A power arm to boot.
So she's looking for that bridge to get from the starter to Joe Smith and then Houston Street.
So it's 5 out of the zone now. After striking out Urshela on 3 pitches. Runner goes. This is skied on the left side. Ibar and Gillespie into foul territory. Connor makes the catch for the 2nd out.
Using that glove once again to shade the eyes. Gillespie made a nice play on that pop-up.
Michael Bourd's going to come up and pinch hit here for Tyler Holt, who ends the game going 0 for 2. Bourd hitting .247 on the year, 12 doubles, a triple, 19 RBIs, 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter. Had a 1 for 3 game last night with a single and a stolen base. Halos in the bottom of the 7th have Ibar, Gillespie, and Cron do up 6, 7, and 8. Zach Crockett continues, Kyle Crockett continues to warm up. Zach McAllister no longer warming up. Two and 0. Two and 1. Cued off the end of the bat. Ibar goes to first, and there's the third out. But Ryan Rayburn extends the Indians' lead. We hit to the bottom of the seventh. 3-1 Cleveland.
Look at our active leaders amongst wins for managers. Career-wise, it's Bruce Bochy at the top with 1,676. Mike Scioscia just below him. Buck Showalter, who we'll see this weekend, and Terry Francona, 1,255. 3 of the 4 with World Championship rings as managers. Buck Showalter, the only one, has not, but has been to postseason a number of times himself.
Left-hander Kyle Crockett on a relief for Terry Francona here in the bottom of the 7th. Crockett pitching in his 11th big league game this year. No record of 3 ERA. Saw one batter 2 nights ago. He's got Ibar, Gillespie, and Crone due up here in the 7th. Eric spins around to hit from the right side. He's 0 for 2 today. Twice having grounded out to Ramirez at second.
And Crockett's fastball is 87 and 91. Slider, changeup.
No balls, 2 strikes. Michael Bourne stays in the game in center as he pinch hit for Holt. That's moving someone's feet.
It looked like Eric was looking for something all speed away and down.
Bouncer to second.
That's 3 times in the game Eric has grounded out to Ramirez.
Trying to keep him honest over there. I'm sure he's paying attention. Gillespie coming up now. Angel third baseman 0 for 2. Fly ball to center and a ground ball to first. Five hits for Cleveland, 2 of which have been home runs. The Angels with 3 hits. 2 singles and a home run. Calhoun, solo shot in the 4th. 0-2 on Gillespie. Salazar, 6 innings, 3 hits, a home run to Cole. 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 run allowed. Just north of 100 pitches for Salazar. Ground ball to the right side. Santana's got it. Takes it himself. 2 outs. TJ Crone coming up. So it looks like Terry Francona might go to the bullpen here. Well, I guess he's got to go to the right-hander. Terry likes to play super matchups. And it'll be McAllister, the right-hander, coming on in relief. The 2 outs. The base is clear here in the 7th. The Angels down 3-1. A pitching change here at the Big A in the rubber game of the series. Featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Zach McAllister picked up the win yesterday in relief. His 3rd of the season with 1 inning and allowed 1 hit. And he comes in with 2 outs here in the 7th to face C.J. Crone.
Talked about it last time out for McAllister. We're out of the bullpen. He's picked up 3 miles per hour average on his fastball. Very good fastball for McAllister. Rushing up there 93 to 97. Slider, curve, changeup.
No official at bats today for Crone. 2 walks. One and 2. 2 previous at bats. Crone had gotten ahead of the count at 0-2 and worked the walk, so it's 16 pitches. Behind here at 1 and 2. Rasmus will come back out for the 8th inning. Top of the order coming up for Cleveland. This one fouls it off. Still a 1-2 count. Breaking ball popped up on the infield. Ramirez and Santana. That's the first baseman making the catch, and the Angels go down in order here in the 7th. We head to the 8th with Cleveland leading at 3-1.
Eighth inning. I'm Alex Curry, and make sure you stick around after the game for Angels Live. Jose Mota will join me out here at the desk. Kent French will have all the interviews, hopefully some positive ones as the Angels turn things around towards the end of the game. But on a positive note, one player who was not here today was Houston Street, and that's because him and his wife welcomed their third son into the world, Rafe William Street, born at 11 a.m. And when I talked to Houston last week, he said he could not believe he was having his third mini-me because he still feels like a big kid at heart, and being a dad is his favorite thing in the world. And his kids are seriously the cutest because they're always running around the clubhouse, wreaking havoc after the game in full uniform. So it'll be nice to have another one around. Victor Gooby.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Top of the order here to face Corey Rasmus. Ramirez to the left side. He's 1 for 2, a walk and a home run. Homering off Hector Santiago. That made it a 2-1 lead for Cleveland in the 6th inning. His second home run of the season.
That's a pretty good changeup. I think it was touching the lower part of the strike zone.
Three 3-0. Rasmus took over for Santiago after Hector gave up the home run to Rayburn leading off the 7th. And now a 4-pitch walk, second one issued by Rasmus, and Speedy Ramirez is on board.
The 6th walk he's picked up in this series.
Well, and the other thing is, it's not that he's looking at borderline pitches. I mean, the walks that he's picked up have been nowhere near the zone. It's not like they've gotten him to, almost to get him to chase pitches. Guy hitting $170 coming into the series.
Only 17 walks the entire season. Take away the 6 here, he only had 11.
Francisco Lindor 2 for 3 with a single and a double. He's hit a fly ball to center. Gillespie on the grass at third. Lindor bunts one toward first. Crone's place to first base. Sacrifice advances Ramirez to second.
This bunt there from Lindor to advance Ramirez to second base, forcing C.J. Cron to field the baseball. No play at all at second. Boy, back in the day when Terry Francona was the manager for Boston, that wasn't part of his game as far as sacrifice or even stealing bases. He had a lot of guys that could drive the ball, and on-base percentage and not want to give up that out as far as a sacrifice. But with this club he has, not a lot of power, forcing him to go old school as far as sacrifice bunt, hit and run and stealing bases.
Terry Francona sends up a pinch hitter here. Lonnie Chisenhall batting for Jerry Sands. First one is inside. Chisenhall last night ended up going 1 for 5 with a single. He'll take over in right field for Jerry. Sands ended up going 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs. One ball, one strike.
Well, Ramirez had a big jump. You know, man, you had to bury that look back to second. He timed it right. Ramirez about 3 or 4 steps before Rasmus is even going to deliver the baseball.
1-2 count on Chisenhall. 217 on the year in 58 games. 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter. He popped him up. Gillespie coming in, calls for it. 2 outs.
There's certainly been a lot of pop-ups in this game.
Yep. On or around the infield. Intentional walk coming here to Santana. Ryan Rayburn on deck. Kind of interesting here to see intentional walk of Santana. 216 hitter from the left side this year. Rasmus with good stuff. And Rayburn with a couple of hits today, including a home run.
Plus you still have Brantley available. And it looks like that's who's going to maybe come out.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's pretty simple. I'll take my chances with Santana. And Brantley's been deadly with men in scoring position this year. There's ball 4. So Rayburn is done after going 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs as Brantley will pinch hit here. Cesar Ramos not ready to go. He's just now starting to loosen. So if that was the case, Ramos certainly not going to be ready here. Brantley hitting .304, 30 doubles, 8 home runs, 57 RBIs. His first pinch hitting opportunity here. Now Iannetta's going to take a while here to give Ramos some time to get loose.
And this will be a fairly long conversation.
To me, and I know we've talked about this before, you want to talk about speeding up the game. This shouldn't be allowed. It should be, whether it's the Angels or anybody else, it should be incumbent upon the manager to have his guys ready to go in the bullpen.
Just in case this scenario comes about where Brantley, a left-handed batter, coming up, and Mike Scioscia will indeed go down to the bullpen more than likely now.
And credit Hoberg, the home plate umpire. He went out there and broke up the meeting. It's not like he let it linger for a while. So Ramos is going to come in to face Michael Brantley. A pitching change here in the 8th. Couple of men on.
Now he's going to give
he's going to wait
a few more pitches himself.
Another stall tactic, and now Ramos is summoned from the pen. A pitching change. 3-1 Cleveland in the 8th. baseball. At bat is up to the moment. At any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. 3-1 Cleveland here in the 8th with 2 outs. Cesar Ramos pitching in his 42nd game, summoned from the pen to face Michael Brantley, the pinch hitter. 2-0 record and a 1.38 ERA.
Done a very solid job as far as stranding inherited runners. 33 of 38 for Ramos this season for the Halos.
Ramirez, the base runner at second, Santana at first. One ball, no strikes. Halos in the bottom of the 8th have 9-1 and 2 coming up. Ian Energy, Vitelli, Calhoun. Brian Shaw been loosening for Cleveland. Ground ball toward the middle. Giavotella has it, flips it to Ibar. They force out Santana. We head to the bottom of the 8th with Cleveland still leading at 3-1. As the Red Bulls take on the New York City FC at 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports 1, sponsored by Audi. The old New York Derby.
Well, rivalry.
Looking forward to it. Brian Shaw takes over on the mound for Zach McAllister, who retired the last man, the 7th. That was C.J. Crone. 47th game for Shaw. 1-1 mark and a 1.88 ERA. Lonnie Chisenhall stays in the game. He will patrol right field.
Slider, cut fastball, a lot of cut fastballs. That velocity on that pitch, 90-94, and the split finger fastball.
Chris Iannetta will lead things off. He's 0 for 2 today. He's in a little bit of a slump. 2 for his last 24. One ball, one strike. Talked about Shaw last night. Nasty stuff. Hard slider. One and two.
It's very difficult to track the pitches against because he'll throw a slider that plane followed up by a cut fastball. Another break to it, but a sharper break. But both on the outer part of the plate.
Two balls, two strikes. Off the plate, full count.
It's a cut fastball again. Looking for a base runner here to get that potential tying run at the plate.
And shoots one out to right field. Chisenhall is there. One out. It's 5 in a row retired by Cleveland since Pujols single put runners at the corners with 2 outs in the 6th. Angels with just 3 hits, 2 singles, and the home run by Calhoun in the 4th. Giavotella, one of those singles, so 1 for 3 game. Salazar went 6 innings today for Cleveland. Crockett 2/3 of an inning. McAllister 1/3. Now Shaw here in the 8th. One ball, one strike. White Sox beat the Rays. Extra innings today, 6-5. Oakland and Baltimore tied at 3 in the 7th. Mariners leading the Rockies in the 9th. This one a 3-1 Cleveland lead in the 8th. Everything else later on today, including the Astros at Texas. Three balls, one strike.
You got to be real patient at the plate if you're Giavotella. At this point, a walk is every bit as good as a hit.
Full count. It's a good take. You're just trying to get on board.
Evolution of trying to be that leadoff man. Trying to get on base. Knowing you need 2 runs to tie.
Payoff on the way. A bouncer to third. Shella has it. 2 outs. So Calhoun coming up now. Go back. This is what he did back in the 4th inning. Salazar.
Baseball had some serious carry to it. 15th home run of the season for Cole.
Bedrosian loosening. Houston Street in the bullpen.
Didn't think he was going to be here today. He's had a baby little boy, yesterday, last night.
Oh, 2. Cole didn't like that call, but it's a strike in the Fox tracks. No balls, 2 strikes. And Cole goes down swinging. The Angels go down in order. We head to the 9th. Cleveland up 3-1. As we begin the 9th, with Cleveland on top 3-1. Bedrosian pitched last night, ended up giving up a run on the home run to Urshela. He didn't suffer the loss, though, as Alvarez had given up a leadoff hit to start that inning. Jose took the loss.
And now it's time for our top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. In the 6th inning, Ramirez at the plate, batting from the right side, gets a breaking ball down in lower part of the strike zone and golfs it out for the go-ahead run in left center field. His 2nd home run of the season for Ramirez.
Cleveland here in the 9th have Urshela, Perez, and Aviles due up. The Angels in the bottom of the 9th will have Trout, Pujols, and Murphy. More than likely facing Cody Allen, their closer. Giovanni Urshela, the third baseman, 0 for 3 with a pop-up and 2 strikeouts. Glove by Bedrosian. 1 down.
Job by Bedrosian on the follow through. Fielded his position well. Sending the glove and gets it over the first base quickly. Lands a pretty good fielding position.
Roberto Perez, the catcher, 0 for 2. Strikeout, a fly ball to center, and a walk. Chopper towards short. Ibar, 2 hops, has it. 2 down. Take a look at the standings, both in the West and in the wild card. We mentioned the Angels, a game up on the Blue Jays. And then you've got Baltimore, Minnesota, Texas in the West. Rangers just 3 back.
Baltimore tied at 3 with Oakland. We're going into the top of the 8th inning.
2 months of the season left. In fact, season ends 2 months from yesterday on October the 4th. The Angels will finish the regular season with a 4-game series against the Rangers in Arlington.
That should be real interesting, those 4 games. The Angels have swung the bat exceptionally well over the last couple of seasons down there in Arlington.
Mike Aviles, an 0 for 3 game with a couple of strikeouts and a pop-up. Bouncer and gloved again by Bedrosian. Nice little 5-pitch appearance. A 1-2-3 ninth. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth. The Angels down 2. Indians, their closer, with the Tribe up 3-1. Allen will be facing Trout, Pujols, and Murphy here in the bottom ninth. 46th game, 1-3 mark, 3.56 ERA. Had himself a 1-2-3 12th inning last night in notching his 22nd save, and that was DeJesus, Calhoun, and Trout, 2 strikeouts and a groundout.
Yeah, power fastball, 93-97, curveball, occasional changeup, a very good curveball.
Brian Shaw pitched a scoreless 1-2-3 8th inning. And now Allen here trying to close it out. Angels offense continues to struggle. Just 3 hits today. And a total of 5 base runners. Crone reaching twice via the walk. Giavotella with a single. Pujols with a single. Calhoun with a home run. Nice outing by Cam Bedrosian. 5 pitches.
Good to see him come back after that tough one last night.
Trout today 0 for 3. One for 10 of the series. Walk and a single. One ball, one strike. Challenger with a fastball at 96, 1-2.
Over this stretch in which the offense has struggled, we've seen some serious power arms, both starting pitching and out of the bullpen.
Watch out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Angels have the off day tomorrow. Then the Orioles into town. 3-game set beginning on Friday night. Breaking ball, got him swinging, and there's out number 1 here in the 9th.
Third time in the game for Mike Trout to strike out. It's that big curveball that Allen has, trying to catch up to his fastball normally. He's got a sharp, tight curveball.
Trout, by the way, 1 for his last 20 now. That's post Grand Slam game. Oh, 2. Albert a 1 for 3 game. Little flare out to right center field, and Albert picks up his 2nd hit of the ball game, and it'll bring up the tying run in Murphy.
Went with the pitch, was off the plate. Flair did it in right field. Break a ball, a good one, just off the end of the bat, made contact. Ends up allowing Murphy an opportunity to tie the game up.
That's the old, his heart was in it, but his rear end was not type of swing. Fouled back. Murphy, good hack at it. 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a fly ball to center. The Angels took game 1 on Monday. That snapped their 6-game losing streak, a 5-4 victory. Last night, 12 innings, a home run by Urshela, giving the Indians a 2-0 win. Today, a 3-1 lead here in the 9th. After Santiago allowing the 3 runs in his 6 innings. 2 solo home runs allowed. Murphy lifts one out to left. Avila's back a couple of steps, 2 outs. So 2 outs here with Pujols at first and Eric Ibar coming up, representing the tying run himself. We know that Andrew Heaney will be on the mound for the Angels on Friday night. 7:05 game. Saturday it'll be Garrett Richards, a 6:05 game. Then a to be determined on Sunday for the Angels. The Orioles have yet to announce their rotation as of yet for the weekend series.
Gossman, it looks like for Friday, babe. That's when maybe Weaver settles in on that Sunday start, possibly, or Monday for Weaver.
Weaver's made 2 rehab appearances with Inland Empire. There's Jared, pitched last night. Oh, 1 count on Ibar. 3 ground ball outs to Ramirez, the second baseman tonight, or today I should say. He's 0 for 3. 5 hits for Cleveland, 4 for the Angels. In the dirt, Pujols stays at first. That ball hitting off Perez. 2 balls, 1 strike. In the dirt, Albert takes second base.
All of a sudden, Allen throwing a lot of pitches in the dirt. Rick Ibar trying to get on base himself. Got Gillespie on deck, a career .308 hitter against Cleveland coming into this game. Albert with the secondary lead, sees that pitch in the dirt, advances into scoring position.
Well, it's a 2-run deficit, but I think that you get Featherston running. Pujols trying to get that run in if Albert is able to get a base hit.
If it's a 1-run game,
Yeah,
for sure.
And there's ball 4.
Well, you have your shot right now.
Now,
especially because of
do
potential
it.
force play and everything you have around there. But his run doesn't mean as much as it would be for Eric Ibar to score from first base on a gapper.
but you lose nothing by doing it, other than
If you tie it up.
Yeah, if you tie, but you can't worry about that. At this point, you're scratching for runs. You'll do anything.
I'm just looking for the 3-run home run walk-off style.
Connor Gillespie 0 for 3. Fly ball to center, ground ball to first. The last couple of times up. Pujols second, Ibar, and first Eric the tying run. 1-0.
Allen has allowed only 2 home runs this year.
Two balls, no strikes. It's almost as if Allen really, last couple of pitches, those sinkers really almost forcing the movement on those pitches. You see that ball missing way outside.
Yeah, he's not even going anywhere near middle part of the plate to trust that movement. He's starting off the corner, and it's not going to stay even close to the strike zone.
Saw Gillespie hit the 2-run home run Monday off Corey Kluber.
Certainly the great hitters count right now.
Two outs, 2 on. 3-1 Cleveland here in the 9th. 2-0 pitch. Inside 3-0. C.J. Cron on deck. Taking 2 here, aren't you?
Yeah. Certainly at least 1. A 3-1 count, though. Look for something on the inner half of the plate, although most closers force you to hit the ball the other way against them.
3-1. That's where he's been trying to pitch Gillespie. Hits that outside corner. Avila's very shallow in left field. Bourne in a couple of steps at center. 3-1 now. Foul ball back. The bat goes flying as well. So full count now with 2 outs. The runner's going to take off.
That's a break. A potential gapper can score 2 runs now from Gillespie. Yeah, see how much movement that fastball has. Able to control the bat, keep the handle on the bat. No batting gloves for Gillespie, going old school. But you know, if there's a netting back there.
Runners are going to take off here on this 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Ball 4, and they are loaded out for Crow. Tying run at second, winning run at first. And Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, is coming out. First visit to the mound, if I can recall, in the series for Callaway. Taylor Featherston over to pinch run at first base for Gillespie.
Yeah, I thought Callaway would come out a little bit earlier, especially when Allen just couldn't find his release point. All of a sudden now you have the tying run at second base now.
Crone 0 for 1. 2 walks and a pop-up to the first baseman Santana. Allen going from the full windup here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Check swing foul.
Pitch well off the plate. C.J. Crone looking for his first major league walk-off hit.
Ibar telling Featherston to get a bigger lead at first base. He's the trail runner representing the winning run. That is lined out to right center field. It'll fall for a base hit. Bourne fires it back in, and we are tied at 3. C.J. Crone knocks this game up with a 2 RBI single.
Got a pitch upstairs and a good swing at that one for C.J. Crone. Elevated fastball, went with it, shot that ball into center field, right center field. Trying to do too much with that. That's a good swing. That's the kind of swing we saw all spring training long, and at times this season for C.J. Crone is going with the pitch.
Pinch hitter coming up, David DeJesus batting for Chris Iannetta. Featherston, the base runner, at third base. Crone at first. Featherston, the winning run. And we've seen Allen throw some pitches in the dirt already. First one, down low. Back-to-back walks to load him up, and then Crone with the 2 RBI single. 3-3 game here in the 9th.
It's a product of a pitcher trying to find his release point, so he elevated a couple pitches in a row after a couple walks.
Pulled foul out in front. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball is in there. Cron advances to second on indifference. 1-2 now.
Gets away. Featherston's going to try to score. Can't handle it. Light that baby up. The Angels walk off on the Indians 4-3.
What a great read by Featherston to score on that one. Perez unable to get the handle of the baseball. Head first slide for Featherston. What a comeback for the Halos in this game. Down 3.